Good morning. So, if you're joining us today, you're doing remote learning on Thursday, October the 7th. And what we're going to be doing today is, first of all, our blast off. The blast off for today is Kentucky. And what you want to do is look up Kentucky to find the abbreviation, the capital, the distance from the capital of Kentucky to Richmond, Virginia. And then the fun fact for today is to look up some of the sports teams in Kentucky. There are many sports teams, but just look up one or two and then update your Southeast sheet to reflect that. Make sure you have Kentucky on the map. And if you want to know where Kentucky can be found on the map, you can see it here. It is to the west of Virginia. So once you've done that, you can put your southeast sheet away, and then you'll be ready to move on to the next thing. After the blast off today, we're going to do something called the KWL playlist. So feel free to pause this video so you can do the blast off for Kentucky. And then when you're ready to come back and do the playlist, you can join us for that. So to start the playlist, you'll want to go into Schoology, and you can find it down here under the calendar. When you click on the assignment, you'll need to click on My Document, Edit to make your own copy. And when you come into the assignment, it looks like this. It's a Google Draw that has several parts to it. So on the left, we have the directions for parts 1 and 2. Then we have something called a KWL chart. Then we have some links on our playlist. And then over here on the right, we have a place where you're going to write a letter at the very end. So let's look at the directions. They say, part 1, start with the KWL chart on the left and fill in the top 2 boxes, the K and the W. These are the top 2 boxes. So on a KWL chart, the K is where you write what you know about something already. The W is where you write something that you want to know. So here is the question. What do you know about the contributions of the Chinese, the Irish, the American Indians, and African Americans during westward expansion? So what do you already know about those different groups? Once you can think of something, you can type that in here into the first box under What Do I Know? If you don't know anything about those groups and what they did during westward expansion, you can say, I don't know anything. Just type that in. When you're finished with that, come to this box and answer the W. What do you want to know? So maybe you have some Irish ancestors, or maybe you have some American Indian ancestors, and you're curious to know what their role was during westward expansion. You could type something like that in here. So go ahead and take a moment to type in the what do you know and what do you want to know. When you're finished with that, you're going to go ahead and start selecting these links in the playlist to learn about these different groups and what they contributed during westward expansion. Most of these links will play for you. There are a couple of video links on Buffalo Soldiers and Black Cowboys, which most of my students were not able to access from their laptops. You can probably do a Google search and find some videos on those subjects if you would like to see those. But if you can't and you're not able to play these links, that's okay, because there are other ways to get that information. I want to show you what happens when you click on one of these links that leads to our textbook. So this link is called Across Gold Mountain. When I click on that, it takes me to our textbook. And if it's the first time you've been to the textbook, you'll need to type in your user ID and password. The user ID is Hanover S, but you spell it capital Hanover, capital S. The password is 23005, capital S. That will bring you here to our textbook. So that link was called Across Gold Mountain because I want you to read this paragraph called Across Gold Mountain. Because the font is so small, you can drag and drop this slider bar on the left to increase it. And then you can use these slider bars here to get that paragraph more in focus. So again, you're reading Across Gold Mountain. And in this paragraph, you're going to learn about the Chinese and some of the things they did when they were here during westward expansion. Once you have finished with that, you're going to come back to the KWL playlist assignment, this Google Draw, and you're going to go through all the links. After you've got a few things that you've learned, then down here, you can type in what have you learned. In that spot, you can type in a few of those things that you've learned, okay? When you've gone through as many of the links as you can to learn about the contributions of the Chinese, the Irish, the American Indians, and the African Americans during westward expansion, you'll be ready to write the letter. So you're going to write the letter over here where it says Dear. When you click on it, it's going to kind of jump to the bottom. So you're going to have to scroll down to get it back into focus. But let's pretend you're writing your mother, okay? And that's where you can actually type it. But if we look at the directions, it says, pretend that you are one of the Chinese, Irish, Native American, or African American people you learned about who lived during westward expansion. In the box on the right, write a letter home telling your family about your experiences. You must use 3 facts that you learned from the playlist. Once you've written your letter, gang, you can submit the assignment. Send me any questions that you have. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.